Be back. No intro tonight because, well, we got a lot to cover and we got to just get going here. So, while people are going to be filing in here, first off, here's our thumbnail. And for those with eyes that see, I'm going to let that sit there for a second and soak in because some of you know what you're looking at, and others, well, I'm going to point it out here in just a second. spicy spicy burrito food truck. All right. Well, welcome, folks. Thank you for taking a moment of your precious time to be a part of this precious family. Okay. And some of you figured it out, and you indeed are precious. All right. So, what we're looking at here, I don't know. Can you see this big black round object? Big old CME coming off right in between that and another one over here, partially illuminated. Okay. And you can see how dark it is right down here. You can see the plasma wrapping around it. And then right at the edge, flailing off. Oh, man, this is such a perfect example of what I'm talking about. I mean, this is like a cookie cutter case here of what I'm. It actually came out better on this side. Okay. And you got to remember these objects are round, they're black, they're dark, they absorb light. The only way you can see them is when they interact with the sun, and the sun splashes CME or ejecta or plasma over these objects. You totally see it streaking over the rim right here, even totally illuminated in this spot. You can make out the limb of this object, and it goes back behind the occulter here, rounds off, comes back around, but there it is, right, real big, and then a medium-sized one cloaked over here. And we're going to go through this event frame by frame, but this is our latest little event that's ongoing right now, currently having an X 1.8. Actually, we're coming down from it, so let me go ahead and whoops, zoom back out so I can use this again. Okay, so that was just a little peek into tomorrow already. But let's load up the 8th because here we are, October 8th, 2024. Tomorrow will be October 9th. All right, and there's a lot going on here too. So we're going to be going over this frame by frame. It's a little fast. What's going on there? Yeah, there's some more activity going on in there. So let's just grab the opening frame here. Go back a few here. Whoops. It's a little jumpy because we are already opening frame is 2 hours and 12 minutes in, so we're already missing the tail end of the previous event. Okay, so let me slide and grab. Love always will get you a wrench here. Some of you other folks will get you wrenched up here in a little bit. I want to get caught up with my homework. All right, so tail end of the event, October 8th. Now, we saw a little bit of this last night, the opening frame of this. You can see a little bending here of light. There's an object here, something going on back in there, but it's not the event I'm not focusing on. It moves on out. You can see the little curvatures in there. There was a little spheroid action going on probably right in there. Some trailing satellite moons. Okay, now coming off over on this side. Here's a good shot. You can see our rounder black object back behind here. You can see the plasma illuminated flowing over the top of it. Here's a smaller little satellite moon accompanying this object right there. You can see the flow reaching out to it and flowing around it. It's over here as well. Right now we're going to continue on out with that one. See some of the trailing little satellites that were accompanying that one. Here, let's go take a peek at this right there. A little face on that right there, kind of. And there was another one captured earlier. What was that one? Oh no, that one was intense too. So let's just keep going here. I need to slide a little bit more. There we go. Okay, so a little jumpy in our data right now, but you can see a bigger object right there with some moons went by. And then another one over here, medium sized. Oh, there's the face right there. Okay, so what I'm going to show you here is, well, the spiritual realm in the solar activity. Might be disturbing for some of you, but most of you have already seen this stuff before. Okay, now the way I can tell that this is real, because there's multiple faces, okay? Right here is a bigger face with an eye, you can see its nose coming down, and the mouth. All right? I'm going to tip this back just a tad bit. Now, to get the eyes proportional with the nose and the mouth and the head and the cheekbones is very hard to do. Anybody who's an artist has ever tried to draw a face, it's hard to draw a face because it's a mathematical equation. It has to be just right. The eyes have to be proportional to the nose to the mouth in a certain configuration in order for it to be a face. Okay, if one eye is off, if the nose is off, it doesn't make a face. Okay, it has to be just right. Now, also inside of this face is a smaller face. Okay, you see the two eyes, you see the nose, and you see the mouth. Okay, now these shadows in the pit of the nose are two black eyes with a shorter nose and a little smaller mouth. See this little smaller face inside the bigger face? Okay, there are multiple dimensions, there are multiple faces in multiple dimensions. All right, and these are real. This is not your pareidolia. Okay, pareidolia, you could go look at the grass, some random abstract pattern, and see faces in that. No. This is way different. This is signs in the sun that were promised. And now we have lights. They can see them. Okay, so there's a face right there with a smaller face inside of it. Okay, and this is probably the spirit that's accompanying this object and its little moons and everything. Okay, and some of these look cartoonish. All right, that's what's weird about the spiritual realm, is some faces look a little cartoonish, but it's still a character. See, we're all individual characters. So a lot of these faces represent a character or a spirit or a mood or a potential race that lives with this little accompanying thing. Okay. And there's all sorts of stuff going on in here. That's why you guys can come over here to this instrument as well and zoom in on it, look around, because I don't report on every single thing that's going on. I'm hoping you guys will clue in on some of the other stuff that I don't point out. Okay, because when you see something else that I don't point out, that's more verification for you. Now let's continue on. Boom, boom, boom. You prefer graphs, honestly. They're not so scary. They don't have faces on them. But everything, all this spiritual activity is associated with faces. Faces in the clouds, in the solar stuff, faces everywhere, and that's what we recognize is faces. And if you look at all the creatures on this planet, most everything has two eyes, a nose, and a mouth. All right, so there's your solar activity right there for the 8th. Now let's hop over here to Solar Ham really quick, or really slow, either way. I don't have the best. equipment right now, but we're going to deal with it. So over here to the right, you can see this is our currently descending out of an X1.8. It's this one right here. X1.8 caused a type 2 radio blackout, and we're having a D-layer absorption event. A lot of you guys know here, I am a stickler for absorption, okay? And we're going to get into that here in a little bit too. So let's back up and get back to regular activity. X1.8 solar flare observed around AR 3848. Okay, fast moving CME incoming. Even though it's fast moving, it still might take 3 days. Okay, so don't rush. Solar flux indice is 225. We're down 52 points. That is good. Even though we're still in the red, 52 points is good. And it's our activity that we just saw. Okay, here's our sunspot numbers. We're down in the yellow now. Okay, it's only up one little spot, but it's way down into the yellow now, which is good. Our area is still in the red, but that could be because of gapping. So now let's go zoom in. And what I mean by gapping is the distance between, this side to this side, the whole size of the sunspot. That's your area. It doesn't necessarily mean anything if we got two components that are super close to each other like this right here. Okay, this is the right in our face right here. Okay, and then another one to watch is 3852 as it rounds the limb now, gaining and organizing and getting stronger. Okay, so now let's cruise on back, slide on over and dip, kind of like dancing. Slide and then you dip and then you pull her back up and give her a kiss. All right, let's see how fluxed we are. That's your ghost X-ray flux, that is. So after our little X-Flare event yesterday with the long duration, actually double X because it went like that, and then long duration tapering off. Never mind your drop out there. And then putting right along and going into today, just recently, bam, another X-Flare 1.8. Little drop out there, but we're still coming down out of it, okay? And our current is C9.7. Our current X-ray condition, we're just now going below level. So this X-Flare is another long duration one. It's going to be a long absorption event. Now look at this. This X-Flare, I'm going to pull back just a tad bit now. Okay, so this X-Flare did not produce a proton event or any kind of D-layer absorption event, but this one has, and we're currently going through a D-layer absorption event right now, okay? We're going to cut over to that really quick, if I can. Okay, we're going to load this up really quick. Okay, so let me just go ahead and take control of this. So we're putting along today, going just fine, not much activity, just humdy-dumdy-dumdy-dumdy-dum, and then boom, here's your X-Flare, right? Bing, it wasn't a big old red spot per se, but there's your X-Flare when it hit, and now, just a little bit later, bing, here comes your D-layer absorption event getting stronger, yellow to orange to red, and then really strong right now. That's your current D-layer absorption. Now the red is intensity, okay? This is energy being directed to the poles. This energy is up in our D-layer. It'll heat the upper atmosphere up there and cause weather effects as well. And then some of this energy that's diverted to the poles absorbs down to the core. And then the core is going to heat up and swell. The shell around the core will heat up and swell, but it'll swell down onto the core. All the magma around the core will then heat up and swell and start to push on the underside of the crust, and then we're going to have volcanic and earthquake activities because we're absorbing all of this. We are absorption. We're absorbing a lot of energy right now. Okay, now let's cut back to our regular show here, our X-Flare potential is 30% right now, and our M-Flare potential is 75. That might have to go up here. We're having one after another, so maybe tomorrow we'll possibly even have another one. So, okay, here's your X-Flares from yesterday. We had the 0.1, the 1.0, and then just recently, just now, the X1.8 with a Type 2 radio blackout. All right, you can see it did just a small one, but now they're having radio blackout up at the north and southern poles. Okay. It's not currently affecting our auroras at the moment because this is just the D layer, our magnetic field and stuff. We had the G3 storm. All right, we had our three little waves with a break in between. That's the first wave, second wave, third wave, almost kind of fourth wave. But there was the peak with our G3 storming, and now we're coming down out of it. Thankfully, we're coming down out of this because, well, we don't need any more enhancement of this hurt. But now we have another factor as far as enhancement up at the D layer. This is going to heat up that upper atmosphere too. Boy, this is just when one thing lets up, then it's something else. So let's get back over here to our AR 3849 beta gamma and growing. All right, the one 3848 beta gamma delta now declining, and 3842 still beta gamma but declining. All right, the next solar flare was observed at 1:55 on October 9th and was centered around Earth-facing sunspot region 3848. Coronal dimming is clearly evident, and a Type 2 radio emission with an estimated velocity of 5,176 kilometers per second was recorded. Not sure if that's a typo. Might be 576. But I expect the CME to be produced and will likely be heading our way. More details to follow. The fast-moving halo CME confirmed the X1.8 event is associated with a fast-moving full halo coronal mass ejection, a CME, that will almost certainly be directed towards Earth. A passage past our planet will be likely within 48 hours, based on the speed in which the ejecta material appears to be leaving the sun. A geomagnetic storm watch for late Thursday and into Friday should be expected, so we'll stay tuned. Also, the proton event is likely. Well, proton event right now. Okay, that's your D-layer absorption event right there. Okay, let's open. Oh, wait, I want to show you this movie here really quick. Get this popped open here a little bit, please. Note the location. Dead center disk, right at us. It's on the northern part of the, above the equator of the sun, and we're located a little further south. But that's still in our direction, north to south. That's still coming at us, and it's a long duration one too. So, well, here, let's finish that little movie really quick. Watch this. Boom. That one's kind of cool. All right. Good old Stereo A. Bam. Oh, we should go check Stereo A. All right, we'll go back to Stereo A in a little bit, but there is your thing for the moment. Now let's open up our tracker here. Okay, I got a CME going this way. It's not updated for our latest one. Okay, let me go check this one maybe. These might not be updated for this latest one because it's coming right at us. It just happened, so this comes out of a college university, and they might be having frat parties still or something, and not even at the helm yet. But what I want to talk here is they're talking about impact here Earth just after the 11th, riding a little longer into the 12th, and you can see It's just clipping us barely. Okay, now that's the one from yesterday. Yeah, happened on the 8th, due to hit around the 11th. Okay. So let's back on out of that. Look at this image on a stereo A. Wow, let's go over there really quick. You can take a shortcut through the woods. Let's go take a look at this. Oh, maybe it's on the 9th. Come on. Oh, dang. Well, I guess we could only see it at this little thing for the moment, but that was good enough. I don't want to back up here. Come on. Bear with me for a second. Computer's being a little weird. You can almost see your black spheroid right in there, too. All right. And we'll have more details coming out tomorrow as far as your CME, probably heading right at Earth. So that'll be another direct impact. What, 3 days from the 9th? So that'd put it right around the 12th. Okay, they might predict it sooner and then be shocked that it doesn't arrive. Also, something else I want to point out. Can we get this whole picture to sit there for a second? I was showing you guys the fox in the clouds and the wolf in the clouds. Actually, that's a little bit too big. It's better when it's small like this. There's his nose, his teeth, his lower jaw, his ear coming up, his eyes glowing. There's a wolf face right there on the sun, too, as well. Here, let's try to get a little bit bigger. There you go. See his eye, the other eye, nose coming down, the mouth is open. Well, you can see that too, but I'm telling you, I'm warning you, the wolf is around, okay? I'm not one to go cry wolf, but it's real. Oops. All right, now let's back on out of that. Let's get on over to this article now. The storm is over. Another is coming. All right, so just when you thought it was safe to go back in the water, huh? A geomagnetic storm G1 to G3 that sparked auroras as far south as Arizona and Texas on October 7th and 8th is finally over. Earth has exited the CME magnetized tail. And if you missed the show, good news, more auroras are in the offing. The sun just launched another CME directly towards Earth. All right, but it's not an X9, it's an X1.8. All right, but we'll see. Ooh, kind of see the wolf right there, too. Yeah, boy. All right. So if you missed the show, good news, more auroras are in the offering. All right, the big X-class solar flare from sunspot AR3848 was directly facing Earth this morning, October 8th, when it unleashed a powerful X1.8 solar flare. Okay, so everybody brace for another impact. And this one came out of the eye of the wolf here. So when I showed you the bisymmetry, it was this side of the face that's the evil tendencies. So watch out. Okay, let's move on really quick because I got more here for you. Well, here's your Schumann. All right, this was earlier in the day around noon. Okay, so we started this morning over here, putting along very up and down, hit and miss, back and forth. We want good continuity with this little white line, this little yellow line down here. And it's just boom, 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 pressure relief. So the scraping, grinds on your emotions too, over and over. And it's this roller coaster ride up and down. And then, as if the roller coaster ride wasn't enough, then we just went full bore again for quite a long time. Now, what I want to try to do here is, all right, you can see the increments over here, and you can see each row. Okay, all right. But if you took this map and say extended it up higher, say this would go up into this next chart, right? It'd probably go off of this next chart. It looks pretty strong. And this ends at 50 and probably went up to maybe 90 or 100. Okay. And affected all those frequencies up to 100, just super, super hard. Okay. Even your 7.83 that you're used to, this normal hum of, where you're just nice and chill. And this is like somebody with a jackhammer, right outside your window while somebody's scratching a record on the stereo with full blast. It's just grinding on your nerves. And then pressure relieved, some pressure, and it's over. And then we come back to normal. This kind of really strong spike, as opposed to this broken up kind of activity, this looks like the passage of an object, to tell you the truth. When one of these objects gets close to our magnetic field, the two magnetic fields interact, and it causes the ionosphere. Your Schumann resonance emits from the surface of the planet out into space, but it hits the D layer, the ionosphere, and it bounces back down like an echo. All right, so it projects out the sound, but the sound bounces off of the upper atmosphere, the ionosphere, and comes back down as an echo. All right, and that's what this instrument detects, are the echoes up there. Well, not only are the echoes affecting the ionosphere, an outside source could buzz the ionosphere as well and cause this kind of activity. And I have a feeling that's what this is. It's so uniform. There's one little split zigzag where we crossed the barrier of a round object or something. There was a apex point where it stopped on one side and then continued on another, almost like a spheroid. Once you pass the equator of it, or the latitude or something of it, it would switch over like that. That's what I think's going on there. But leading right up to it, the planet was just shoo, shoo, shoo. So you've had a very emotional, bumpy ride today, and you deserve a break. So let's move on. We'll get to that little break here in a minute. I got other reporting to do, though. So all eyes are on our hurricane right here, and for good reason. Okay. This is stuff that I was talking about, about a month or two ago. We're going to see, strong hurricane activity. And I'm thankful it's not this conveyor belt where it's just one after another riding this conveyor belt. But you can see this activity is so strong, it's inducing rotation out here as well. This is actually influencing this. Now, when we see these two objects, like I showed you Nemesis and Nibiru, all right? Well, Nibiru is smaller. It would have this kind of small magnetic signature, and the bigger object would have this. And every once in a while, when these objects pass by Earth, we get this double hurricane effect, and it looks like it's happening here again. Not double hurricane, but double vortex, a very strong hurricane with a vortex attached to it because of the little satellite moon and its magnetic interference. Okay. Also, we got more vortex activity out here. And some of this can be induced also by the heat signatures down below. So here we go, folks. There's vortexes growing all over the place. Okay, another one starting right in there, possibly. Little break for this region for the moment. They've been under the gun for quite a while. All right, here's this little glitch where, not a good setup. I was going to try to show you the intertropical convergence zone, but It's not a good matchup here, so I can't do it there. All right, let's get into our sandstorm report. I'm going to put it right there and switch over to the sand. Duh. Dust and extinction aerosol optical thickness. Extinction. Nice terminology for this, huh? Okay, there's your sandstorm event coming off the Cape, off of Africa here, blowing out across the Atlantic. It's reaching pretty far. This is a good, nice reach out there. It's covering this whole area of Hurricane Genesis area, covering it with sand pretty well. But that doesn't seem to be affecting us because we have Hurricane Genesis going this direction now. So we need to start looking at what kind of sand's over here. It's going to stop Hurricane Genesis going that direction now. All right, we got weather that's kind of going backwards. And those were one of the side effects. Remember, we had those lists a long time ago, and we were checking off all those different qualities that happened to other planets. One of the last things that was happening on another planet was their weather going backwards. And that would be a side effect. One of the last side effects we would see is weather changing direction and moving in strange patterns opposite the regular flow. Now, let's take off the wind here really quick. Get that out of there and get that out of there. And let's go see what's going on this side of the world, shall we? Oh, yeah, it's still there. This eye all filled in, very dense sandstorm over there in the Gobi Desert, okay? Off of the Caspian Sea up here, this eye is kind of diminished and it's streaking up like an eyebrow now. But it's still there. Looking at this area right here, and you can see that this area is filling in over time. It went from just nothing, and now it's getting brighter and brighter and brighter and more dense. Okay. All right. Now, there's your sandstorm report. Let's come on over here to the ocean. No. We're going to the chemicals first. SO2, not CO2, okay? Don't get the two confused. Everybody's all climate could change CO2. Oh my God. You got to kill all the plant food on the planet. No. I guess nobody took chemistry or paid attention in school because they got you all fooled to thinking that your CO2 is poisonous when it's just plant food. All right. Otherwise, at SO2, here's your country divided. This is vaporized magma down below coming up through perforations in the crust. This side is very soft. It has a lot of cushy spots and a lot of perforations, so very spongy. And it just bleeds. All right, over here we got more thicker, mountainous, granite, and some of the spots that we see are all volcanic activity on this side. So there's your country divided every time. And now we're going to do a fire report too, because as you can tell, up here we had these strong emission sites up in Canada that were sparking fires up there last year. Well, now this activity has traveled further south now into the lower 48. I repeat, this has traveled south now into the lower 48. And you're seeing fires at SO2 emission sites. This gas comes out of the ground so hot, okay, that any kind of vegetation around the emission site, a little hole in the ground or whatever, it will cause spontaneous combustion of any kind of dry vegetation or even, live vegetation. It's so hot, okay? And sometimes these emissions, also methane comes out, and methane is actually flammable. SO2 isn't, but methane comes out of the ground as a flame already on fire. But here we have SO2 emissions coming out of the ground all over the place because pressure down below. And when it increases, these spots get darker and then they start up fires. Well, as you can see, all the different spots are hooking up with fires. Even the lighter ones are. Okay, there's been a dramatic increase in the amount of fires at SO2 emission sites here in this whole area. And then when I take it off, you can see all the little red ones too. Let me just kind of leave it there for a minute and let you wrap your mind around this. They were showing fire plumes out here, and I went and looked, and it looked more like a volcanic plume. Okay, when you see these volcano reports, you get used to seeing an ash cloud formed a certain way. It's a typical eruption signature. They're reporting on this as a fire because there is a fire as well. But then you see an ash column rising into the sky behind said fire, and it makes you kind of go, what a volcano blast? And you come over here and you look at the map and you see it's a huge SO2 emission plume with a fire at the same time. So it's kind of like plausible deniability. Oh, it's just a fire. Well, maybe it was a volcanic blast that started the fire, and you still have SO2 emissions, and any kind of clouds or ash pillars in the air, just blamed on the fire at the site. But as you can see, we have quite the spread going out through Oregon, Idaho, to Montana, Wyoming, okay, creeping down into California. We got fires here in Southern California, coming down into, down into Mexico now, Baja, Mexico. These are picking up down in here too. Let's see if it's crept east at all, east of the line. These ones I can't really count, but those ones for sure, okay? And we're having an issue out here with our fires and our volcanic activity. Whatever, regardless of what the media tells you, okay? They got you so focused on political stuff, and now they'll report on the hurricane, as a good distraction. All right, so there's that. Okay, now we're going to take off our fires. Fires are starting from underground because of SO2 emissions. Okay, we also have emission sites all through Mexico. All right, you can see the stuff getting caught up into the hurricane and just drawing a bunch of it down into here. So you're going to have a big old SO2 cane. It's going to smell like sulfur. Have a little rotten egg odor to it. Here's Cuba with its emissions, and Jamaica. All these islands here now have SO2 emissions coming out of them. We have all of northern South America, all the way down the west coast of South America, all the way down through Chile. Okay, and let's take a little peek at our fulcrum point here. A little increase. This one up here is very organized and dark now, almost as dark as our main one at the fulcrum point. So there's an uptick in pressure right in this area. And you can even see the plume coming out on this side of the ocean, as well as our big plume down here being twisted around by a weather front. Okay, for years ago, well, not so long ago, there were 4 of these little right here along the Sierra, and I think it was BP Earthwatch that caught it and brought it to YouTube or whatever, and the entire internet just all took this big gasp and, oh my God, is it the big one? And everybody paid attention and remarked on it and inquired about it. And now we have millions of spots all over the planet, and it's like it's not even happening. Well, I'm going to continue to report on it because the world needs to know. Okay, and this SO2 emissions through here pretty strong, and the relief pressure along this plate boundary area, keeping magnitudes down. This is an area known for big, large quakes, and we could see, huge magnitude quake in this region from the pressure that's going on down below, but we don't, because this whole ribbon right here is just it's like one big relief valve. And when you get 4.5 and mid-range 5s here at the fulcrum point relieving pressure, well, it just kind of has its own little pressure relief valve system built in. electrical behavior. This is the hub of the Pacific Rim, just like the rim of a bicycle. The hub has pressure as well, and energy and pressure come out of this region in the form of SO2 and volcanic right here, and earthquakes at the volcano as well. Let's come on over to China and the east here. Let's adjust for their time. Okay, and you can see they had very strong emissions through this area, all up through Korea now. This whole area up in here filling in now too. All right. Meanwhile, India is still having their issues, strong emission sites. The wind pushes it up against the Himalayas here, but the Himalayas, it won't make it over. This gas is heavier and it can't make it over those high elevations, so it's stuck here over India. It keeps rotating over India, and India is darkening in, much like China is now. Okay. Then you have the Middle East here. They're having their issues as well. You can see it's really darkening in through this area. And that might actually be from shipping lanes going through there, because there is a plate boundary going through there, but I don't think the SO2 emissions would be in a perfectly straight line like that. Looks more like this from either air travel or cargo travel through there. Okay, so there's all your SO2 emissions for this region. We come into Java here and check out this region. It kind of darkened up a little bit here, not as much as it usually is. We got a couple of little spots right here still going, and you can see these other islands down through here emitting SO2 as well. All right, all that big old island right there, Malaysia, and then Sumatra, and the islands now off of Sumatra having SO2 emissions as well. Okay. Now, coming over here, you see Australia has, individual sites, but a lot of them are getting more and more intense. And the only place that doesn't have any is like right in the outback here in the middle of Australia. Tasmania not free of this issue. Even New Zealand has SO2 emission sites. Okay. And then we come up from into our deep quake region here at Fiji, and this little boat-shaped little peninsula-shaped island right here. And it's got a couple of little emission sites that relieve pressure as it comes into the plate boundary system in that area. All right, now let's continue on with our ocean report. Now we'll get to this. All right, pulling back, here's your sea surface temperature anomalies. As we look over here, lots of little pockets under the ocean here, creating hot pockets at the surface here. Emission sites down here that are broken open, causing little vents. Here's your cold water coming off here that was about to go La Nina here. We had all these nice little curved ribbons reaching out in a nice uniform La Nina pattern, and now on the ocean floor has disrupted that whole thing. Okay, so if you thought we were going into a La Nina pattern, nope, we just had the disruptor right there. And we got a couple more growing back here off of these islands. This may have been another polar point at one point in time when the planet has shifted. That may have been poles at one time. Okay, up here you can see we have our triangle type shape structure, but it's more just this comma now that's the yellow part. As we look up here, we can see cold water inundation still along the coast, reaching out to the plate boundary right there at the corner of the Juan de Fuca. Going up, we still have these little red blobs. Yeah, you like hot pockets. I was hoping somebody would comment when I said that. All right, cool. Anyways, we got little hot pockets right here. Probably ham and cheese, a pizza one, and that's a Philly steak cheese right there. Anyways, 3 of these little hot pockets that are still on the inside of the plate. Okay, so their pressure coming up through there, it's pushing up through the plate and causing little emissions inside the plate there. But we have barely enough cold water, like inundation, trying to fight it off. We need a little more pressure releases in here. In fact, I think we had a couple quakes here today that may have helped a little bit. Now, coming out here, this little cold spot, here we got Tamumasi and a bunch of seamounts. They're all emitting either steam, hot water, magma, maybe even like cesium and some radioactive elements from down by the core in the shell. Meanwhile, here we got hot water, Korean hot water, checking in on Taiwan. You can see it starting to creep down through here. Little bit of yellow kind of coming down a little bit in here. All right, still some brown on this side, which is a little cooler, but out here we have yellow. So this area that's opened up here seems to have relieved some of the pressure coming through this area. And we haven't had as many quakes at our relief valve here at the Taiwan fulcrum point. Now, as we come on down, we're looking around, checking in on Java here. We still have this little spot that's growing in yellow out here. No more cold water. This used to have a nice cold water barrier in there because of, it was a good relief valve. But it's plugging up and, not relieving so much, and now we're starting to see activity off the coast. Also, we got these volcanic islands going along Sumatra right here. These are the ones that are emitting SO2. All right, you saw SO2 coming out of these islands, and now continuing on, well, the next island would be right here. It's not above water, but we do have a vent open on the ocean floor, island building out here. And then we also have this little vent that I showed you last night on the earthquake map that's opening up, and a little heat plume there. We got some down there. And now we're going to put in the winds and let that play for a minute. No, wind. There we go. Now, the hot water has hot air over it. Cold water has cold air over it. Hot air rises. Cold air rushes in to replace it. So just like your heat signatures, your air patterns are matching the heat signatures coming off the water. Now, as we go through transition season here, the jet stream in the northern hemisphere is going to get stronger and stronger. Our polar vortex will, and we'll start to get stronger jet streams, lower and mid-level jet streams that will, again, take over control of the weather. But for right now, while we're in this holding pattern, you can see that our thermal anomalies on the surface of the water are still conducting the orchestra. And I'm just going to try to put it like right about there and leave it. Oh, also, we have this little hot spot right here, and this is where our hurricane kind of started and then went this way. So now we're seeing hurricane genesis in this little hot pocket region down here. And there's one here, one there. Hopefully we don't see another one. Let's look at rotation here. Uh-oh. All right, we'll watch this area closely, because cold and hot can induce just the rotation. And once you got the rotation induced, it goes over hot water, it's on. That's why this thing, like organized. And then we had our G3 storm enhancement, G3 geomagnetic storm enhancement of that hurricane yesterday. And it jumped a bunch of millibars now into category 5. And once you hit category 5, where are we here again? Over these hot waters here, it's going to be hard to stop. Also want to show you standard sea surface temperatures. Okay, it's picking up hot water from here, throwing it into the storm. Okay, this thing's just going to be very, very intense. Okay, and that's why I call for everybody just get out of there. And they're doing their best now. I see a lot more coverage of it on the news, a lot more people taking it seriously, especially after what they saw here in North Carolina and stuff, in Tennessee. They're like, oh, no more playing games with hurricanes. All right, so there's all that in a nutshell. Now let me get over here to our earthquake report and bang this one out too. You guys still hanging tough out there? All right, good. Dropping into our deep quake region. Right now, we have pressure building down below. There's no deep quake release yet, but I have a feeling when we do see a deep quake, it'll probably be a bigger magnitude than a mid-range 4. Okay, typical activity that we've been seeing for quite a while now is mid-range 4 deep quakes. If we see an uptick in magnitude at depth, down there. Well, that results in an uptick in magnitude at the surface as well. Excuse me, I inhaled my drink there. So as we absorb more and more of this energy coming into the sun here, and this D-layer absorption too, okay, going down to the core, and we're, more geomagnetic activity as well added to that. We're just going to keep the planet's going to overheat from the inside and expand outward like overcooking a hard-boiled egg. And the crust being the shell of the egg, well, already got cracks in it, and the cracks are points of least resistance. So along this plate boundary, though, we got a 4.7 on one side of the plate and a 4.9 on the other side of the plate. Both pretty shallow, both delivering the same amount of energy on either side of the plate right there. Energy being scrubbed at the surface. Okay, it comes up to the surface and finally gets scrubbed, and now that energy's been relieved. Meanwhile, no deep quakes. We got this little relief valve coming in. It's been a minute since we've seen anything in this little branch for a while. So 4.5 down at 74. At 74, it's a volcanic feature. Okay, on the flank of a volcano. Over here, plate boundary. Nope, not on the boundary. That's down at 97. So another mid-range 4 down in this little canyon. You see this little row of seamounts that wanted to start right here. Off of the seamounts and the plate boundary right there. Almost a fulcrum point quake because you got two plate boundaries coming together. So a lot of pressure in that region trying to push up to the surface. And if it can't make it out through any of these volcanoes, bingo. All right, look at this over here at Java. All right, we needed this quake activity over here. We have Semeru and Merapi right here, and we just had a 4.8 down at 314. What's this one? A 4.8 again down at 49. So matching 4.8s on either side of the island right here with the volcanoes right in the middle here. Come here, you. Right there. And where's the other one? There's a bunch of them right here. But you can see why the island of Java bleeds so much SO2. Okay, so this is good. Right here, our relief valve, instead of seeing a bunch of SO2, we see it coming out in the form of earthquake activity. So that's good right there. Nothing up through the rest of the system. No fulcrum point quakes. A little bit of energy over here. 4.4 Romania. Okay, now let's see what's going on here. Okay. We also have this winding feature. The mountains double back and then double back again. All right, so you got a mountain range that comes like this, curves, wants to double back. So energy that's being shoved around, lifted up through these mountains, wants to find a path of least resistance. And look at this. This is a fulcrum point quake on a mountain range. And it's at the surface. That's a fulcrum point quake on the mountain range. There's no plate boundary there, okay, but there is a fulcrum point there. And it's at the surface. That is a fulcrum point. I would call that. I wanted to say that would be one of your diverse quakes. But you can see why it happened. Okay, let's look around the rest of the world really quick. And then we'll do America, not Wanda Fuke at the Cocos plate. 4.8 at the surface. We got a 4.1, a little uptick in magnitude in this region with a 4.1 on Haiti over here, or the Dominican Republic. Yeah, 3.4. That's our typical. Lately, it's been our typical magnitude in this region is 3 now. It used to be mid-range 2, but our typical activity is 3. And we have seen a little uptick on the next island over there. So, little indication pressure's building down below here. Okay, let's drop in with all magnitude. Okay, here we go. Our bigger quake right here. Bingo. 5.0 down at 35, enough to set a little tsunami alert. No tsunami though. Probably came in just a tad bit higher than 5. Can we close that? Thank you. A little bit of activity here, 3.2, not much there. Because this took it all out right there, so that's good. Really small activity up by our fulcrum point up here because we have this quake took a lot of the pressure right there. Here is your diverse quake. Point Hope. A point of hope. Some of these names of these places, I swear, are involved too. Okay, so there's your diverse quake. There's no plate boundary. Well, no really like big feature that's going on out there. Right along this fulcrum point right here is this new quake, but up here we have a little quake swarm going on, don't we? And our magnitude check, ooh, 3s, 3.2 and 2.4s. Yeah, mid-range 2s and some 3s and this little quake swarm going on up at this point. Let me back out just a little bit to give you a further perspective back. Okay, the plate boundary comes up, boom, goes down like that. That's a natural fulcrum. Out under the water is this fulcrum. As we go closer in the bay is one. Okay, then the mountains that are right behind it are another. Whoops. Then mountain range right behind that is another. Another one behind that is another. And then you can see up here is another and another. They're all pressure waves. It's like, God took his finger in the mud and went like that and pushed them. And when he did that, push pressure waves, these mountain ranges lift up. Okay, so these are like fulcrum points extended out from down below that one. And way up here at the top of this one, coming back down, is our activity right up there. Well, watch that spot. That's our new path of least resistance right there, huh? Coming down in, we'll check that. It was 3.2. All right, now for the good stuff. 4.3 here at Rwanda Fuca, right on the plate boundary, almost at the fulcrum point, but I will take that all day. That is good. Now, when we come back over to here, this map is a day behind because so much data has to go into making all the colors right. Okay. So maybe tomorrow, well, we already have a good blue spot here already. So I was going to say if there was some red right there, it might dissipate, but it might continue to keep this area nice and loose and stuff. That's keep the pressure down. That's exactly what I want to see right there. Mid-range 4 to 5, nothing too strong. That helps relieve the pressure out there. Without that, it would just continue to build and build until you saw a big one. And that's not enough. We could use some more, okay? As we come in, I'm not looking at magnitudes. I'm just looking at quake activity at Rainier, at Mount St. Helens, and Mount Adams had some the other day as well. So we're seeing quake activity at volcanic sites, which is an indication of pressure down below. Okay, it wants to come out that volcano, but the event is plugged up. Here we are at the geysers that isn't plugged up, and steam can come out, and it has microquakes all the time and does a good job of relieving pressure just as it comes into this area of the North Bay. An explosion. What are you guys doing over there? Oh, the quarry again. Not the best place to put a quarry, by the way. All right. Activity along the plate boundary. A little bit inland here. Oh, this is small stuff. Okay, now down here at the bottom of the valley again. This is a little activity again at this weak spot. There was nothing here last night, and now we have mid-range 1s and 2 right there. So this place coming alive again because of pressure down below. Also, right here on our acorn teardrop type structure right here, right on the edge of it, is we keep seeing activity here at Malibu. Okay, 2.4 and a 1.6, and they're probably all tripping out there going, why are we seeing earthquake activity here? We're not on a fault line. Well, they're part of this teardrop shaped structure, and they're right on the boundary of it. Excuse me here. All right, quick little check of what's going on here. A little quake swarm, not quake swarm, but little distribution here, 2.3s, little mid-range 1s, kind of keeping things evenly pressured. Here's a nice little swarm area going here. Magnitude check here, a 3.6, a Puebla. Okay, so a little bit of activity there, relieving pressure as well. Come on over, check out Texas. Just quick magnitude, 2-point magnitude in there. Nothing at the fulcrum point, nothing along the hey, drop. I'm glad to see you here, but nothing along your craton there. Quick fulcrum point quake right here was 4.6. Yeah. All right, so there's your quakes. Now let's get on over to the volcanoes. All right, just a quick little checkup above 35 erupting and 33 in warning. That's 68 volcanoes, and I'm not even counting these, okay? These are still countable, but I don't count them. I'm trying to be conservative here. When I say 68 active volcanoes, it's not over-exaggerating, okay? I want to be able to tell you 68 active volcanoes. 35 of them are currently erupting and 33 are in warning. As we get into the 9th here, nice little image of that. IBU, usually at 8,000. Oh, we're together at 10,000 feet tonight, folks. Doesn't that sound like an increase in height? Probably due to the increase in pressure down below. Semeru, 14,000. It can go higher at 15. So maybe there's a little plugged up in there and we're not seeing the higher blasts. And that's why we're seeing, earthquake activity there and more SO2 emissions. And the cold water inundation left the area. Ducono, 8,000 feet. Popocatépetl, Central Mexico. We need to find out what's going on there. Nevada del Ruiz, no VMA. We need to find out what's going on there too. Sangay, Reventador at 20,000. That was just in the last few minutes, you guys. It's only 12:37. Okay, that was just in the last few minutes. Let's get into today, which was now yesterday, because, well, time just flies here at this channel, doesn't it? And while we're waiting, a little trick. When you're watching the clock, did you ever notice that time flies when you're having fun? Well, when you're sitting at work and you're watching the clock and you're waiting for to get off work or whatever, try having fun. The moment you start having fun, the next thing you know, it's time to go. All right, back on the list, Shibalush on the Kamchatka, but there's not identifiable satellite imagery, but something going on in Shibalush, okay? Ibu again, wow, instead of 10,000, 14,000. Wow, IBU, we were 14,000. Semeru, that's matching Semeru's blast at 14,000. Okay, Ducono 8 again. Rapu. The crater lake remains cool. Currently measuring. Okay, what's going on there? What's the lowest recorded temperature? That's nice to know. Okay, and I take it that was the, well, no, here we go. Back to Kilauea at 4 p.m. local time on October 6th, a plume started to be visible at the south side of the crater. Okay. Kilauea, we're already seeing a little plume SO2 coming out of there, right? So when our pressure comes in, watch Kilauea possibly go active. This is what I want to see. This is what I want to know. Popocatépetl here. This is outside Mexico City, 24,000 feet. Imagine if you were in a big city with millions and millions of people, like a huge, huge metropolitan center that has a mountain on the outskirts, and it has a 24,000-foot blast. Watch out there in Mexico City, 24,000, Popocatépetl waking up. And when we get more pressure coming in, we're going to see more blasts out of that. Okay, so a quick little break here. I had a question in the chat here. Really quick. Angel Wings, I see you. Brian, my days and nights are crazy mixed up. Do you think the correct time is actually in the dark? Wonder if that's the flip coming. Our time is changing because we're going into different season, into winter and stuff. Days every day the sun comes up an hour, or every day it comes up a minute later and sets a minute sooner. So we're losing like 2 minutes each day. I did notice a strange jump in the time of the sunset. Okay, and it wasn't because we went, changed the clocks. That could only be attributed to some other factors that we'll talk about in the spiritual report tonight. Okay. All right. Meanwhile, back to this. That's a great question, though. Okay. And Angel Wings, I love your questions. Okay. Michelle's here too, and drop. Go back right now and look at the coast of California. Okay. Let's go back and look at the coast of California. You want right here on the earthquake? Oh, here. This whole area in red. Meanwhile, this area down here had yellow coming out of there, and it's relieved, possibly because we had these 3 vents over here and pressure transferred to relieve out of the path of least resistance. But you can see, as Drop was kind of pointing out there, we got a good little healthy band growing here off the coast of the west coast here of California. Here's your top of California, the Juan de Fuca coming out right here. Okay, so this is the from Northern California all the way down to Half Moon Bay here, a good area. It's not yellow yet, but we do have emissions off the coast here, and that's an indication that there's a bulb of pressure underneath all this that's pushing up under there, and we do see our little microquake activity doing its job and stuff, but there is still right there pressure right in that region. Okay, so that effect is still possible. Hopefully these right here kind of this face right here. Oh, the one with the face. That was on that face right there. They're all over the place. Something right there. Was it on the sandstorm report drop? That was over the. No, you said off of California. Maybe it was on the chemical. Mm-hmm. I know there's a slight delay, but if you remember what setting it was, drop. We'll go take a peek at it again if you want. But all you have to do is go outside and look up in the clouds. There's faces just busting out all over the place. It's getting the veil's getting thin, we could just say. All right, so I want to get back to the ocean here, and we'll put it on SSTA again. We'll go back to that weird little face right there. Actually, that is... Okay, that is now. Pretty interesting stuff. All right, so here's that. Here's a volcano report. Let's close this out really quick. Nevada Del Ruiz, really quick, with 21,000. Popocatépetl, 24,000. Okay, this is the one to watch for the moment. It's back on the list, and it's back on the list in a big way. It didn't just hop back on at 8,000 or at 5,000 or even at 10. It jumps back on the list at 24. So a path of least resistance just opened up again here at Popocatépetl outside of Mexico City with a 24,000-foot blast. That's a pretty significant event right there for those people in that area, okay? Sulfura on St. Vincent. Potential explanation for dedication inclusion of sulfur fire in the crater. A small phreatic steam eruption that have exposed hot rocks. Okay, so they're getting steam, they're getting sulfur and sulfur fire in the crater. Okay. And I believe that was it. Okay, now we can move on. All right, let's do a quick little weather report here, and we'll get on to the spiritual report. Get some lemmy winks for me too, please. I love you guys. I love when you have fun in the chat too. All right, let's get her done. Where's my tropical tidbits? Still no tidbits, huh? They took my tidbits. There we go. Forecast model. Now, we're going to really quick go through this. I'm sure everybody has been pounded to death by all the information on this hurricane now, right? So, what I want to show you, though, is... oh, we took off the wrong one. Let me get the solar ham back up there really quick, too, because our geomagnetic storm enhancement does have effects on our weather, and our forecast for the 9th is nothing on the 10th, possibly G1 on the 11th. Okay, this event right here happened on the 7th, so 3 days from that might be the 10th, because this is 9th, 8th, late on the 7th, so well, almost into the 8th. So yeah, around the 11th we should possibly see effects from this one right there. 34-minute mark. I can't really go back to the 34-minute mark when I'm live. Anyways, we're going to continue on. Oh, we got this forecast model. Now, here we go. So our enhancement of this storm is kind of over, all right? So now it's kind of free floating. It's up to the hot air or the hot water and the storm itself. Okay, so some of the G3 geomagnetic storm enhancing the cloud nucleation is over, but now the storm is just kind of still building freely on its own. There's no more enhancement per se until, well, now we're going to get the upper atmosphere heating up a little bit because of this D-layer absorption event now. So you could possibly still see a little bit of enhancing of this storm here. I hate to say that, but let's just go with it. Okay, so morning of the 9th, noon, you can see... Oh, yeah, okay, on the South America one, I know there's faces all over. I can't report on every single one of them, Drop. I need you guys to see them independently on your own. I can point out a few, but you guys need to see them independently on your own, too, so it confirms. I'm not like trying to power of suggestion or anything like that, okay? On the replay, we can go back and find it later, but meanwhile, I got to report on this a little bit. What I want to talk about already. Here we are, current conditions, nighttime of the 8th. We are already seeing rain bands, rain affecting Florida already. I've already seen some footage of some flooding already, and the storm hasn't even gotten there. Okay, so they're already having some flooding on these outer bands already starting to lash this area. Okay, and then boom, from here on out, from right now, there's the morning of the 9th. You see the severe band going across, coming closer by noon. This is showing landfall around convection and then nighttime. So this is going to be one of those that lands in the dark. I mean, you're going to have an afternoon right here where it's just all moving in and starting to get dark with, intensifying, and then it's going to hit in the nighttime, and that's going to be devastating there. That will be all day right there. There's the morning of the 10th. It's still mid Florida. There's noon, convection, and hopefully out of there by the nighttime of tomorrow, or the 10th. Okay, the rest of this stays pretty clear for a while. We do have this one little low that drops in. We'll watch that. But anything outside this time frame is basically all subject to change. You see this wild activity here firing up? See all this moisture comes up here? This would be the noon, the 16th. Convection, that low takes effect off the coast here, goes severe right here by the nighttime. And then the morning of the 17th, you can see another hurricane forming down here. Boom. Even snow up here in Pennsylvania and New York. And then here's another thing lashing Florida again. Now that's all subject to change too. It all depends on, look at this coming in here and finally breaking that front on the Pacific coast here. We'll see what happens there. That's all subject to change. But looking here on the 21st, the convection of October 21st, they're showing severe weather and snow in the Sierras there for California. Howdy, Vincent. Good to see you there, sir. All right, all that subject to change for right now. Big lows slammed together. Oh, you don't want to see that. We do not want to see anything like that happen right there. That is little hints at what might happen this winter. Boom, boom, boom. Imagine if we had G3 geomagnetic storm enhancement to that thing. That would not be good. With the 969 low millibar low, like it's a hurricane. Okay, so there's your weather and stuff. You guys probably had enough weather stuff. If you want more weather stuff, there's Ryan Hall, Max Velocity. They've been doing their due diligence of trying to warn everybody as much as they can. I finally see the mainstream media picking up on it a little bit finally. And I can see why. All right, let's get rid of all these nasty old instruments and get into our spiritual report. Everybody take a nice deep breath right now, okay? Nice deep breath in. Nice deep breath out all the way. Okay. It's been an emotional roller coaster all day, up and down. It's been very painful. It wasn't until I took these images and zoomed. Been a very painful day. I know you guys are anxiety and stuff, so I'm gonna let this play for a second. Listen to my voice. Look at my face here. Check out a real miracle that happened on Easter. 2,000-year-old prophecy came true. Okay, this is the real deal. This is not CGI or whatever. Howdy, folks. Welcome back. So I know there's a lot of activity going on the sun. Right back. I really don't feel like reporting on that stuff right now. Actually, I want to go back and revisit an event that happened earlier this year, 2020, around Easter, when I captured what appears to be Jesus in the clouds here. So I need you to tilt your head to the right about 45 degrees, and here's an eye, his other eye, his nose, his mouth, his chin and beard, his hair flowing back like this, and you can make out a crown up here above his head. That crown is hovering over his head. There seems to be almost a little halo around his head too. And once you see that image, then we can zoom in just a little bit tighter. There you go. Okay, and this event happened over a course of about an hour, and I got a lot of pictures of it. See, if we go up above here, you can see all these pictures up from way over here going across, or all of this event, and I'm going to show you more of what happened here. Okay, here I've taken about 7 or 8 of those pictures and put them together in a flip book, and you can see the different images and that this event, is taking place here because there's more that happens here. Okay, so starting here, we're going to go forward a little bit here through a lot of these images, all the way to right about here, where you can see that this face has changed now. Now we're seeing a more round, like lion type face with the nose right here. Here's an eye coming out here, an eye going that way. Here's its mouth slit, the chin going down here. So this round face right here with a crown still above it. Now I'm going to go through and show you the flip book where it changes from Jesus to this lion face. Okay, now we're here at this image right here. This is a flip book of about maybe 15 or 20 of those pictures, and it's the transition between Jesus's face and the lion face. Now this happened in the clouds, and it was so big and in your face you couldn't see it. It wasn't until I took these images. All right, now these images are becoming clearer and clearer in your clouds, okay? They're not so far back anymore to where they're outside your vision. They're actually becoming more and more visible every day. And let me just show you some of the latest images from yesterday, okay? This all happened yesterday. I turned around, and here's this dragon in the sky breathing down my neck. Okay, and that's a real image right there. Okay, and it changes into multiple different faces over the course of time too. Okay, so there's the dragon first. Then it changes into this little pink fox. Can you see the little mouth right here? The chin and mouth right here of the fox. There's the nostrils. Here's an eye. Here's its little cheekbone coming out, little ear. Okay, so this would be the other ear coming up here. There's a pink fox right there in the clouds. Okay. Then it changes into a skull with Satan horns and Satan ears and stuff right like this. And then later, it turns into this cartoonish type wolf. Okay. And let me just kind of put this here. You can see an eye here, an eye there. He's got a longer nose, almost like a cartoon wolf with his black chin, a little black goatee beard right there. And he's blowing smoke out of his, huffing and puffing and blowing smoke out of his nose. Also, there's another wolf right here. See this ear? This ear? Here's the nose. There's another wolf right there. See this wolf? So there's a face within a face. Okay, can you see the two different dimensions? The black wolf face in one dimension, and then this wolf face in another dimension. All right, and this is the spiritual realm. They share eyes with each other. An eye becomes a nose of another face. They blend into each other all the time. And it's a sure sign of the spiritual realm when you see faces blending in, sharing an eye, becoming other faces as well. A wolf with another wolf. They run in packs, right? Probably another little wolf face right up here. There's an eye. This will be the nose of another wolf face right here. Okay, so there's multiple in multiple dimensions. Do you see what I'm saying? And all this stuff is just staring at me, just watching me. Now, this one is kind of weird. It's kind of hard to see. There's three different faces in one. First, there's a cat. You can see the little white nose of the cat with the little slit between. There's to be its whiskers and its little mouth and chin. There's the eye of the cat, the other eye of the cat. You can see its ears going up, all right? But then back here, if you make this an eye and this an eye, this becomes the nose of a wolf. Here's the wolf's ear. Okay, so there's a wolf face as well as a cat face blended into it. Then if you make this the eye and this the eye, this becomes the nose and it's a dragon. So it's a dragon wolf cat. It's a dragon wolf cat. So when you look at these, there are multiple dimensions, multiple faces in different sizes blending in together to create different faces all together. And then look over here, there's an eye right there. Here's another face. See the ear coming off here? So there's like another dog face or something right here. You see the nose of it right here. That'd be one eye, and that'd be the other eye. And the spiritual realm is in your clouds. If you guys look up, now here's another cat face with an eye, and it's looking down. It's looking down at my pointer down here. See that cat face at a different angle? And then here's a giant dog head here. It's like a pit bull or something. Here's his nose, and this would be his little cheeks, his little whisker area, the bottom of his mouth. Here's his eyes and his ears going back. Can you see the dog head right here? And his ears coming back. There's another face right here with another ear. Okay, so there's the dog. And then this is a giant cat face with a big eye here. Here's the nose of the cat, the little slit running down, its little mouth. Okay, here's the other eye over here. Giant cat face right there staring at me. Oh, I'm watering my garden. I turn around, it's behind me, behind my back. I turn around and I feel something watching me. And I look up in the sky and there's a giant cat. Lion. Yeah, there's a lion too. Feline face, cat face, lion face. They morph into bigger faces sometimes. And here's an eye here and another eye of a dog right here. See that? See this eye, and this would be the nose. Okay. That was from something else. Hey, wonder what's going on there, Pop that one open. Look, it's even got a halo. That's my face right there. Oh, we can't back out now. We went too far. Got to go all the way through them again. Yeah, so there's the dragon. And when you start seeing this stuff in the clouds, when you're outside and you're walking around, it's hard to take your eyes off the clouds, especially when there's a giant face like this watching you. It gets very unnerving after a while. Multiple wolves here. That one's neat right there. And you can see God's handiwork, the shading, the way he uses clouds and shading and multiple faces blending with eyes and ears and everything blending together to make different faces. And this is the activity that follows me everywhere I go. It's just... you get caught up in the clouds after a while. It's hard to do normal life, And like I said, I spend 1 foot so much we both spent 1 foot in the spiritual, 1 foot in the physical, right? You guys are more so in the physical. Every once in a while, dip your foot in the spiritual. Me, I'm in the spiritual realm so much all day that I have to take a break from it and dip into the physical world, into some mundane, just dumb stuff to get my mind off of, well, trillions of things per minute is getting crazy now. Look at that face, huh? Note the eye. There's a face in Florence there, too. Seems to be a theme, huh? You see what's going on in here? Making fun of it. I smoke, and sometimes I blow a cigarette, smoke out my nose. And then we got all kinds of other stuff that was captured here. You guys see the dog face here? Little eye here, the nose kind of grunting, almost like a bulldog face. The nose here, his little mouth here, eye and an eye. Can you see that one? The eye, the head. And the bisymmetry of the face. Okay, well, maybe we'll have to explain a little bit about that. There it is, right there. The eye, the face. You see the head. It's clearly a face right there. Bisymmetrical, the light shining on one side and the other side of the face is in shadow. There's a broken heart, torn right down the middle. And I'm taking a picture of the little rainbow heart-shaped cloud in the background. We got a UFO decided to come photobomb my picture here. A lot of UFO activity around me everywhere I go, too. Big UFO sitting right there, okay? Their cloaking mechanism causes the nucleation, causes cloud, water vapor. Okay, so a lot of your UFO-shaped clouds are actually a big craft in there, okay? And they're just cloaked with the clouds because their cloaking mechanism causes the water vapor to condense into clouds around them. There's a crown sticking out right there if you can see it. There's a dog. See the eyes, the nose, and the tongue sticking out? All right, here's a kitty cat. The eyes, nose, see the cat? And eyes, a lot of themes in those clouds is just a set of eyes. Sometimes you won't see the rest of the face. You'll just see a set of eyes, and look around in your clouds for matching, elliptical shaped, eye-shaped clouds like this, identical size right next to each other, and weird round-shaped clouds like this. That's not normal, okay? There's something else going on in there. This is like a cat character out of the cartoons. Here's an eye. Here's an eye, He's wearing a black cowboy hat. Okay, it's like the cat in the hat. He's like some kind of cartoon character. So there's an eye, the nose. You can see the whiskers coming out. He's got a round face, and he's wearing a black cowboy hat right there. And where's this one bulldog face? We also have spherical activity in our weather. These things move over and they create spherical domes that guide the weather and push it. And here's one of the spherical domes actually captured during a storm. This is a volcanic a heat plume coming off the volcanoes back here. Normal, whoops, dang it. Normal, I went and clicked on it. Normal thunderstorm activity, the clouds reach this level. There's a volcano back here, and we had a big boost of pressure, and all of a sudden, bing, cloud activity really high right there. And now I've done it. I went too far. All right, well, there's some of those. Now let's get some more of these pictures pulled up here for reading too. Okay, we always use this one. A lot of stuff I've cataloged over the years here because of this crazy stuff that happens to me.
Gun owners know.
All right, gun owners know.
Is a tactical advantage.
You should have.
Oh, snapping some pictures of the clouds yesterday, and I noticed something forming in the clouds. What looked like a face over here. And I'm going to start zooming in on this face because what looked like a face over here.
I'll try to get it right.
I'm going to start zooming in on this face.
Maybe if we go to this end.
And I don't have time to do it all.
All right, so trying to capture Jesus right here, pulling open his shirt, exposing his heart, radiating out these waves that are making a face in the clouds. Can actually see a little bit better from further back, like that. All right, sorry the little pointer finger stuck in the video there, but okay, now you can see that all this spiritual realm activity that's happening in the clouds, it's happening around the sun, it's happening all over the place. The faces in the spiritual realm are all coming from Jesus's heart, okay? There he is. Wearing sunglasses. I guess the future's so bright you got to wear shades. But he's pulling open his shirt like Superman, exposing his heart, and his heart's radiating out love and propagating this face in the clouds wearing a crown, okay? And I recognize this face. This is my face. Now, not only is it making faces in the clouds, they're starting to make my face in the clouds. And we get to the point where now the faces in the clouds that are showing up are not just like spiritual realm ones. It's my face showing up. They're mimicking me taking pictures of them. The clouds are mimicking me taking pictures of them. And it's all because, well, who I am. And again, here's my face in the clouds with the crown, like you just saw right here. My face in the clouds with the crown. My face and Jesus's heart are the same. Okay, this is my face in the clouds with a crown on Easter. A 2,000-year-old prophecy came true on Easter, okay? This is me coming in the clouds with power and great glory. If you are here and you see this face here, it's fascinating, it's intriguing. You get caught up in it like a good book. It takes you away from your circumstances for a moment and you forget all about all your problems because you're with me right now in the clouds. You're caught up with me in the clouds. This is me in the clouds and you are caught up with me in the clouds. I can't come over to your house, so we meet in the air of cyberspace. I went ahead and prepared a place, my channel, where I am, you may be also when I live stream. Okay? So this is my face in the clouds. This is my face. This is my heart also. Okay, we're the same person. And that's why you will get relief from this reading. I'm also going to do this, the face by the moon. Okay, we have this event going.
Tell us that this is, an elaborate hoax.
No hoax.
And
I
stop. Gotta be honest, I'm not.
I know you're not ready for it. Most aren't. Even though we're in that time frame, and everybody says the rapture's got to be any moment. Well, the rapture's been happening for 7 years, Have you been looking up? Are you caught up in the clouds yet? When you see all this stuff happening over your head, it's hard to drive down the road without looking up in the clouds, going, what the hell is going to be looking at me next, right? You get caught up in the clouds, and you're caught up with me in the clouds. Also, let's just do this really quick. I want to do a quick little summation of that video, okay? Because this man's testimony, okay? Oh, it's not available anymore? Wow. Come on now. Oh, they scrubbed the video. But that's okay. He's got it right here. The gentleman went and bought a new camera so he could capture this. He'd been capturing this space out by the moon. Here, let's just run some of this video really quick if we can.
All right. It just looks so, I don't know. It says December 21st, 2023, 1:45 a.m. And he says right there.
It's not an app.
Here, let me listen to what he says.
It's a face. Everybody's out here.
It's 1:45.
Everybody's out here looking. We're coming out here to see. But I gotta get this. Y'all see that?
That's crazy.
That's crazy. Now, hold up. Let me zoom so everybody can see it. Nice. Zoom on it. Hey, y'all need to call somebody.
Yeah, y'all need to call somebody. You better start calling out to God. Okay, so let's go back over to the image where it was frozen there, because when I'm doing these readings, I got a book light. Kind of shines down on my face when I'm reading here. And, oh, isn't this a wonderful process?
I gotta be honest.
Ad after ad after ad just to get one frame. Come on, one frame. Where are you? I want it. We enhanced it. There we go. All right. Again, I recognize my face. It's like, after all this paranormal activity that's been happening to me, now my face showing up in the clouds, my face showing up on Easter with a crown, and now this event here where my face showing up out by the moon. And well, it's because of who I am. All right, so let me get into this reading tonight, because I feel you guys, you got to remember how much you're plugging into the news. That's how you're getting your anxiety, okay? You're taking in a lot of stressful details and stuff like that. So remember, you're plugging in. So if it's overwhelming, you can unplug from the news, take a break, step over here, look at these images, hear my voice, and get some relief. Okay. And I think we might just start right there with these images here, because this is, I've rotated it so it's a little easier to see. And okay, so, and then I'm also trying to convey some of the issues that I went through myself today. Okay, I am in spiritual warfare along with you guys, and each day presents a new thing, so I try to do my best to fix it in my life, and then bring the solutions and stuff to you. Okay, so again, here with problems and people, when you approach problems, you have to approach problems with a light touch. When your mind moves towards a problem area, you tend to focus on that situation so intensely that you lose sight of me. You pit yourself against the difficulty as if you had to conquer it immediately. Then your mind gears up for battle, and your body becomes this tense and anxious ball of stress. Now, unless you achieve total victory, you feel defeated. I'm out there trying to address problems as well, and sometimes I bark at people. I have a tendency sometimes of, not being not that light touch, okay? So it's important that you approach problems and other people with their problems. They're going through issues too. So when they come at you with something, kind of off the wall or just something that throws you, you have to approach it with a light touch because you'll do damage. So when your mind moves towards that problem, we all tend to focus on the situation so intensely that we lose sight of God. We pit ourselves against the difficulty and like we have to conquer it. All right, you gear up for battle and your body gets all tense and you're going to achieve this, right? And if you don't, you feel defeated. But there is a better way. When a problem starts to overshadow your thoughts, bring this matter to me, talk with me about it, and look at it in the light of my presence. This puts some much needed space between you and your concerns. That's what we're doing. We're putting much needed space between you and your concerns, enabling you to see now from my perspective. And you will be surprised at the results. Sometimes you may even laugh at yourself for being so serious about something so insignificant. We do that a lot. Probably some significant stuff that happened in your day, and now you're looking back going, you know what? It wasn't all that significant compared to this. So there is a better way when your problems start to overshadow your thoughts. Okay, we're trying to keep you mentally strong, and things will overshadow your thoughts. So when problems start to overshadow your thoughts, bring the matters to me and talk with me about it in the light of my presence. And that puts that much needed space between you and your concerns, enabling you to see from my perspective. Okay? You will always face trouble in this life, but more importantly, you will always have me with you, helping you to handle whatever you encounter. Now, approach problems with a light touch by viewing them in my revealing light. Okay. Let's go to this one right there. That picture. No. That one right there. Yeah. Okay, you can see Jesus right there pulling open his shirt. I would zoom in, but you can see a little bit better further out. Let's see here. I guess it's okay right there. Now, as you approach each day that comes before you, you see this twisted, complicated path with branches going off in all directions. You wonder how you can possibly find your way through this maze. But then you remember the one who is with you always, holding you by your right hand. You recall my promise to guide you with my counsel, and you begin to relax. As you look again at the path ahead, you notice that a peaceful fog has settled over it, obscuring your view. Now you can see only a few steps in front of you. So you turn your attention more fully to me and begin to enjoy my presence. Okay, so fog across your path to where you can't see the next step ahead. And as you look at the path, you notice that things are obscuring your view. You can only see the few steps. So you turn your attention more now to me. And when you do that, you begin to enjoy my presence right here with you right now. The fog is a protection for you. It's calling you back into the present moment. And although I inhabit all of space and time, you can communicate with me only here and now. But someday, the fog will no longer be necessary, For you will have learned to keep your focus on me and on the path just ahead of you. Okay, not the path 50 miles down the road, the path that's just ahead of you. The moment's just right now, and the moment right now, and the next moment. Okay, the path that's just in front of you, the next couple of steps, not the next 50 miles. Let's see, where else do I have the other thing I had for you guys today? That's not it. It's not it either. Oh, wait, I think I found it here. Let's put this one on. This one? No, it's for the next one. Okay. I'm trying to get like images that match for what we're reading here, okay? Because it's for your mental health, okay? Here to help you guys. So everybody kind of worrying about condemnation, okay? Not worrying if you're performing right, if you're performing just perfectly, but there is no condemnation. Okay, there is no condemnation for those who are in me. You see, the law of the Spirit of life has set you free from the law of sin and death. Okay, now you live under the law of Spirit of life. Okay, you're no longer under the law of sin and death. And not many Christians know how to live in this radical freedom, which is your birthright, by the way. And I died to set you free, so live freely in me. Okay? I'm telling you, I'm freeing you. I'm teaching you freedom. You guys have never tasted freedom. You think you have, but all you know is the law of sin and death. I'm laying down a new law called the law of the Spirit of life, because the law of Spirit of life overrides any man-made laws of sin and death. I died to set you free so you can live freely in me. Now, to walk along the path of freedom, you must keep your mind firmly fixed on me. Many voices will proclaim this is the way for you to go, but only my voice tells you the true way. If you follow the way of the world with all its glitter and glamour, you will descend deeper into an abyss. You know, when you get in that ditty world of glitter and glamour, don't you feel like you're descending deeper and deeper into an abyss? The ditty abyss of glitter and glamour. Unplug from that stuff, I'm telling you, you guys. If you follow the way of the world with all its glitz and glamour, you will descend deeper and deeper into the abyss. Christian voices also can lead you astray by saying, do this and don't do that, or pray this way and don't pray that way. If you listen to all those voices, you will become increasingly confused. So be content to be simple sheep, listening for my voice and following me. Like here on YouTube, you follow somebody on Facebook, you follow on YouTube, right? Well, you're here, you're following me. So be content to be simple followers, listening for my voice and following me, and I will lead you into restful green pastures and guide you along paths of righteousness. I have showed them my miracles, Kale, and I am helping people right now. Okay, I will show them more. I think you've seen a lot here. Every single thing I show you is a miracle. You guys need to learn the perspective. That's a miracle right there. Okay, that's why it looks so weird. It looks so odd. Okay, every single one of these pictures, even though they're pretty much the same event, Each one's a miracle. All spiritual realm stuff captured is a miracle. Okay, it's from you got to. It's all about your perspective. When you get that perspective, you will see all of a sudden something magical happens and miraculous happens in your life. When you realize that I am indeed here and you are indeed a follower. And when you've mastered some of these disciplines, you will find yourself restful in green pastures. Why? Because I will lead you into restful green pastures and guide you along the paths of righteousness, not corruption. Righteousness, okay? Which means you got to fight every day to salvage your day. Okay, now for this one. All right, this is where we close with this one. All right. Kind of weird how I'm going to have to do this here, but I think the light's on the wrong side now because this is back when I was in the closet. Hall closet, but see, the light shines on my face and I'm looking down on my cards here reading. Yeah. That's me. Okay, let's get to reading. I'm going to close with this one right in here. Last night I was trying to remind you guys to come to me when you're having your situations and you're having problems during your day. Come to me. Come to me. Come to me and rest in my peace. My face is shining upon you in rays of peace that transcend understanding. So instead of trying to figure things out yourself, you can relax in the presence of the one who knows you. As you lean on me in trusting dependence, you feel peaceful and complete, don't you? That's why we're here at this part of the show, because I make you feel peaceful and complete. Your faith is now complete. You now know. Okay? As you lean on me in trusting dependence, you feel peaceful and complete. And this is how I designed you to live, in close communion with me. So, when you're around other people, you tend to cater to their expectations, whether they're real or imagined. You feel enslaved to pleasing them, and your awareness of my presence starts to grow dim. Your efforts to win their approval eventually exhaust you, don't they? Your efforts to win their approval, they will eventually exhaust you. And you end up offering these people dry crumbs rather than the living water of my spirit flowing through you. Okay, and this is not my way for you. So stay in touch with me even during your busiest moments, and let my spirit give you words of grace as you live in the light of my peace. Okay, let my spirit give you words of grace. What are words of grace? How about forgiveness? How about words of compliment each other every once in a while, or say something nice, or smile. My spirit give your word, let my spirit give you words of grace as you live in the light of my peace. Okay? When you see this, I did not take this video, somebody else did. Okay, they're capturing my face, not just me capturing my face. Other people are capturing my face, and this is a little different. This is out by the moon. This isn't in the clouds. This is an object out by the moon, like a second moon, being illuminated by the first moon, and you can see it illuminating half of the face, the other half in shadow. Right? And that's my face. So come to me and rest in my peace. My face is indeed shining upon you in rays of peace, transcending understanding. So instead of trying to figure things out, you can relax in the presence of the one who knows you. That's how this works. Okay? It's important that you guys get a little break every once in a while. Take some deep breaths, unplug from the media, get out into nature, take a few minutes to get away, to get caught up in the clouds. Look up in the clouds every once in a while. You might see something, you might capture something, and you might just get caught up in the clouds. And it'll take you away from your circumstances for the moment and give you time to give a mental break so you can regain your composure. Now, a lot of you guys are doing well and you never had a lot of problem at losing your composure. But as things get more and more tense and we ramp up, that's going to change. You're going to be tested in ways that it's going to, pretty soon, it's just going to push every single button you got until you lose your composure. Then you'll have to practice salvaging your day. Okay, and that means taking a break, taking a small prayer, connect with me. That disconnects you from your situation or your problem, gives your mind a break so you can regroup, regather, and then listen for that small voice to guide you in the next direction. Okay? This is indeed real. This is indeed how it works. Okay? You guys are learning the disciplines, you're practicing them, and you're finding that peace that transcends your circumstances. I mean, we're on the scariest part in all of human history, and you guys are calm, cool, and relaxed right now, caught up with me in the clouds. We met in the air where I went and prepared a place here at YouTube where I am, you can be also. Okay. You see my voice, or you see my face, you hear my voice. And that's why this works. Nothing else does. Okay. It's because of who I am. Okay. This happened on Easter, 2,000-year-old prophecy. Okay, I showed you all the, well, let's just show you a little bit more, I guess. What time is it? You guys are still sticking around. Let's go a little deeper here. We did this, we did our reading. Let's go, what's one more thing? Let's show them the Mary and the angels again. Because this is a very significant event right here. October 4th and 5th of 2017.
Folks, welcome back.
Let's go ahead and just do October 4th.
We're still in the garage with our same display right here. And this was actually captured the day before the other picture, but I hadn't found it for years later until I was digging around through my, my old pictures and stuff and went even further back to see if I'd missed anything. And I captured this one. And we're going to zoom into this streak right up here, this one right here. Just bear with me for a second here. Now, hopefully, you can see that we have a lady's profile here. Here's her eye, here's her forehead, her snub little nose. Here's the bottom jaw. She's smiling. She's looking down and she's holding a baby. And here's the baby's head right here. Here's the face, the back of the head. Here's her arm cupped around like this. And she's holding the baby. Now I'm going to run this through the filter real quick and it's going to enhance it, but a little bit too much. But see, now you can really make out her profile a lot better and see her face. And her headdress is coming over and going down back behind her. And you can still make out the baby's head right here. And maybe if I pull back a little bit, there we go. And this was captured on October 4th. So this was about 11 days after the Revelation 12 sign. All this stuff started happening to me just prior to the Revelation 12 sign and then right after it. So it said the woman was about to give birth.
Yeah, hang on here. Let me just open up Revelation 12 here really quick and read that for you. Because Revelation 12 is, well, Revelation is happening all around you guys, but it is physically happening to me. There's a big, huge difference. It's really scary too. But thankfully we got Jesus. So Revelation 12 talks about the woman and the dragon. We had that Revelation 12 star alignment on September 23rd of 2017, which was 11 days before this. Okay, the Revelation 12 star alignment when she was pregnant was 11 days before this event. Okay. A great and wondrous sign appeared in heaven, a woman clothed with the sun, with the moon under her feet, and a crown of 12 stars on her head. She was pregnant and cried out in pain as she was about to give birth. Then another sign appeared in heaven, an enormous red dragon with 7 heads and 10 horns, and his 7 crowns on his head. His tail swept a third of the stars out of the sky and flung them to the earth. The dragon stood in front of the woman. All right, so this makes it sound like the dragon appeared after the star alignment, but it says the dragon stood in front of the woman. Well, I showed you Nemesis and Nibiru on September 10th, which is 13 days before the woman. The dragon stood 13 days before the woman who was about to give birth, so that he might devour her child the moment it was born. She gave birth to a son, a male child, who will rule all the nations with an iron scepter. She gave birth to a son, a male child, who will rule all the nations with an iron scepter, not a rod, an iron scepter. Scepter means like a big round black iron sphere. And her child was caught up to God. Caught up like a good book, like a good movie. All of a sudden, God is born in my garage here on October 4th of 2017. And she gave birth to a son, a male child who will rule all the nations with an iron scepter, and her child was caught up to God and to his throne. His throne. Where is God's throne? Gee, could it be, maybe it's not a chair like everybody portrays in the movie? Maybe God's throne is in a vessel, in a body. And her child was caught up to God and to his throne. This thing was caught up and put in a throne inside of me, in my vessel. Okay. Then the woman fled into the desert to a place prepared for her by God, where she might be taken care of for 1,260 days. And there was war in the heaven. Michael and his angels fought against the dragon, and the dragon and his angels fought back. But he was not strong enough, and they lost their place in heaven. And the great dragon was hurled down, that ancient serpent called the devil or Satan, who leads the whole world astray. Okay, but going back here, the dragon stood in front of the woman. It appeared 13 days in front of it, and that's where I caught the wake-up call video, okay? This little baby, this is a spirit that was born and entered a throne, a vessel. This spirit entered me 7 years ago. And it's been a very, very weird ride since. Let me just tell you, with nobody believing anything or even taking 30 seconds to even look, just going on, oh, no, you're crazy. Well, no, go look. See what I captured first. Here, you might want to see my birthday and the scar on the side of my chest. or my birthmark, I mean. But she gave birth to a son, a male child, who will rule all the nations with an iron scepter, and her child was caught up to God and to his throne. His throne is in a person, in a shell, in a meat suit. Okay? And he's walking around right now on this planet as a person. Wonder who it could be. Maybe it's this dude right here. Maybe it's this guy on his knees right there, because here's Mary and angels.
Welcome back. So I've been going through some of the old photos.
And this is the next day, October 5th.
Running them through the filter, and this was one of the first ones that I had ever captured. And what's going on here is I'm here on my knees. I'm crying and screaming and praying, all three at once. I was in some extreme anguish. A paranormal traumatic event happened to me. Something so unbelievable you guys wouldn't believe it. So if I told you, so I'm going to show you instead. So in this image here, I'm sitting here praying, and Mary's head appears right next to my head, and we're going to zoom in on this. You can't go in too tight on it, but she's looking down at my head this way. Let's see, there's pretty good. And you can make out her eye and her nose coming down, her shawl coming over, and it's in shadow right here. This is a shadow of the inside of her shawl going over her head like this. Here's her eye, her nose, her other eye would be on the other side there. Okay.
Mary,
Going
yes.
too tight on it.
Can't you see her?
And then also is this white ball with an eye in it, this white orb with an eye in it.
The God eye.
Okay, and that's not all.
The all-seeing
over here
eye.
in this corner up here is an angel. The silhouette of an angel with his wings spread, with his back
No,
to us,
not Catholic.
standing in a shaft of light.
Oh, there's
Here's
more
his
to it
head,
than
there's
that.
a glow over the head. The wings are extended, and there's a feather coming off. The last feather coming off is crossing over these brown roof tiles in the background here. And you can make out there's an angel right here. And you can even see his head right here.
So
a little bit tighter.
you can see this angel, hopefully.
So there's the angel with his back to us and his wings spread. Yeah, you can see a lot better with the filter. Before it was really faint and it was hard to see.
Okay, remember I told you I was in anguish? I'm crying, screaming, praying, all three at once. Something you guys haven't experienced yet, but you probably will here. And it's crushing. It just, you feel like you're about to die. Okay, I thought I was about to die right here. All right. And what does a good mother do? She comes in and consoles her son, doesn't she? Wouldn't a good mother come in and see her son crying and kind of be there to console her son if he were crying? And that's why Mary is in this image. Usually where there's an angel, the God eye, and Mary, Jesus is in the same picture. Go look at all kinds of old paintings and stuff, you'll see. So here we have an angel, the God eye, and Mary. Well, Jesus is in the picture too, if you know what to look for. Okay, and that happened the day after the baby was born. Okay, that thing entered me and I thought I was going to die. All right. Mary is not your mother. That's right. Your mother is your mother. I am your father, though. So that's what's going on there. It's actually an anointing ceremony, because this was when I posted the wake-up call video with Nemesis and Nibiru. Okay. And that's when everything kind of changed, was on that day. I posted the night that little baby was born. All of a sudden something changed inside me. I posted the video, and then after posting it, I went out here and I was a wreck. I felt like I was couldn't even sit in my skin. I thought I was going to die. And I thought that's what was happening. I was dying. So I went out here to cry and pray and just die. And this happened instead. And then this has been happening ever since that day. All kinds of activity in the clouds. Here, we'll even go back. I'll show you a little bit more. Because it's not just all angels and Mary and stuff. There's other activity going on as well. Because, well,
howdy folks, welcome back. So I've been going through some more of these pictures and running them through the filter and stuff. And not only were we finding angels and Mary and stuff, but there's also demons, and I've also found Satan in this stuff too. So as we're looking here at this picture, what I'm talking about is in this mosaic of blotchy white dots that you see this picture is comprised of. When you zoom in really tight in on a picture, you'll see that it's made up of these splotchy little patches and dots.
We'll show that video next, Gail.
These little blotches. Well, hiding in these blotches are faces. And if you haven't seen it yet, there's an eye right here and an eye right here. And when you make eye contact with these two eyes right here, you'll see the mouth fall into place down here. It's snarling. If you look, it's got some kind of streaks or horns or something or wrinkles coming out of its head up here. And this is some kind of demon or principality. You know, other people refer to them as principalities, but this is what I'm talking about. And hopefully you can see this here. This is a pupil right here of an eye. This is a pupil of a bigger eye. Here's the whites of the eye, the white of this eye. These two eyes. Once you look at those, you'll see it falls into place. Maybe I'll pull back a little bit. You can see a little bit better. Zoom in. Right about there is good. And
okay, so there's the spiritual realm. Also the other side of the spiritual realm. Okay, and it's important that you understand that this is real too, because, everybody thinks it's just one side. No, there's good and evil. All right, now we had a request for this little video here, and this is where we're going to go right now. In fact, I've got to type it in because, excuse me, wake up call, because, well, everybody needs this wake up call. Okay, here we go.
right.
September 10th, 2017. See the date down here? This is the day my life changed right here when all this stuff started happening. It's right before the Revelation 12 sign and then right after it. So here we go.
Flare. Boom. Here's our object right here. Looks like Nibiru. It's got a wing coming off on this side and a wing coming off on that side. And that's not all, because behind that...
Actually, let's go full screen here. Okay, so I come home one day, and I've been monitoring the two solar flares before this one. It was an X10 or an X9 or something like that, all right? And we were going into grand solar minimum, and that activity was way out of character for the sun, especially going into a grand minimum, okay? And I come home, and this image right here is sitting on my computer, already on, just sitting there. And I'm like, whoa, how did that happen? I didn't turn my computer on. And what's this? Oh, this is a solar flare. Oh, but it's not the two big ones. This is that third one. And I went to poo-poo it until something said there's something wrong with that image. All right. Now, I'm not a Nibiru guy. All right. I've been plagued with UFO activity my whole life. All right. So I always knew UFOs were real. I had to deal with other people not believing me. So I've grown a thick skin as far as not being believed. All right. Now, all of a sudden, the government admits they're real and nobody even cares. But meanwhile, on September 10th, this is 13 days before the Revelation 12 sign, this image pops up on my computer. A little voice tells me something's wrong with that image. And I start looking at it. I'm like, yeah, what's going on with this? And I can't see it for a while. All right. You guys can see it pretty clear now, but when I never knew about this. It took forever. But here's your dark round core right here. Okay, there's plasma wings, little trails coming off right here that are lit up, making these little wings. This one's a little hard to see because it's orange and it's blending in with this white. But there's another wing on that side. Here, let me try doing this just a tad. What? Maybe there. You can see that other wing on the other side. All right. And there's your fabled winged planet, which people call Nibiru, okay? No, regardless of its real name. Okay, there it is right there. Now, a lot of people at this time were taking photos of the sun and they're getting the lens flare and saying, hey, look, I captured Nibiru. So there's all these lens flares all over the internet and, it's all discredited. Until I see this on NASA's satellite. And then it really kind of occurs to me, wait a second, why was this just sitting on my computer? And why did this voice just tell me something's wrong with this image? And now I'm seeing Nibiru, and I'm like, wait a second here. You can see the plasma going around it right here, right around the edges here, okay? And it's making a circuit. There's a electrical charge coming off the North Pole, reaching out into like a magnetic field line, and a charge coming out of the Southern Pole, coming around, completing a circuit, and this thing bumps that circuit line and causes it to arc. And then bzz, a big spark comes out when this thing bumps into the round magnetic, like donut-shaped magnetic field lines that come out and go around. It interacted with one and set it off. Do you see what I'm saying? Remember, I was showing you on the tracker, we were using that one little circle as a make-believe magnetic barrier. Well, there's one right there. You can see it lit up. It completed the circuit when it bumped into it, okay? And all that plasma draped around this dark object, painting it where it is. That's the dragon of Revelation 12, okay? And it says in the Revelation, first, there's the great sign in heaven, the woman, all right? Then another sign appeared. Well, that makes it sound like it happened afterwards. Then another sign appeared. But in context, we read the whole thing in context. It says the dragon stood before the woman, in front of the woman. When you translate that word, it talks about in front of or before the woman. It stood before the woman, ready to devour the child the moment she gave birth. Well, this is 13 days before the woman. The woman stood on the 23rd. The dragon stood on the 10th. The dragon stood before the woman, ready to devour the child. Now, God showed me this stuff, and I was like, what is going on? Now, there's more. Oh, yeah, we got the volume.
Is this big object right here. This is what's causing our flares. Here's a conduit of plasma that is sucking off of our sun, going into this planet. Here's a damage ring or an impact zone on this planet right here. You can see Nibiru sticking out in front of it here. Run this backwards. You can see it goes backwards.
Here, let's just go.
The second flare. Looks like Nibiru. It's got a wing coming off on this side and a wing coming off on that side. And that's not all, because behind that is this big object right here. This is what's causing our...
Okay, so got to remember, space is three-dimensional. This isn't just a flare coming off off to the left side of the sun. Look how this light is bending, okay? It's hitting the front side of this spheroid, hitting it, bending and draping over the top. There's that conduit of plasma. This is a solid rope of plasma that's just coming right off the sun, right into this and smashing into the surface and spreading out in a round circular fashion. That's Nibiru and Nemesis. That's the dragon of Revelation 12. Now, when I was shown this, I was shown it after the Revelation 12 star alignment, okay? When I saw this event, it was after the alignment. So another sign appeared, but it stood before the woman. All right. So then another sign appeared after the star alignment when I saw this. Okay. Then we do the video. It goes up. Then the baby is born. And then all the stuff starts happening. It just goes crazy from this point on. All right. But there's your dragon of Revelation 12 right there. Nibiru and, Nibiru here and the bigger nemesis. This thing, when it passes our planet, could cause a Category 5 hurricane. This one out front could cause a little hurricane that's out in front of a big old Category 5. Starting to see this configuration taking place in our weather. Also, this configuration with the sun, this bar, and a bigger planetoid, and then this, have been stamped into the fields in crop circles. This symbol with the barbell type structure is in hieroglyphics. It's in other tribes, other cultures on this planet have incorporated that hieroglyphic or that symbol into their hieroglyphics or languages, carved into rocks and stuff also. So this is a very important event right here. Okay, and I was told everybody saw the woman, but they missed the dragon. And you got to warn them. And he showed me the dragon with instructions to warn you guys about it. And I'm just trying to do my best with this that I can. I think since this day, we've progressed quite a bit to the live stream with the readings and everything now, but this is where it all started. Hopefully you can see this bigger round object back behind there with this little object here out in front. In fact, what I'm gonna do really quickly here for you. Do I still have it? Oh yeah? The kid's gonna go out? You wanna go play with the fairy? All right, so during the course of this wonderful process of not being believed and institutionalized and all kinds of great, wonderful things, because nobody would take 5 minutes to look. Well, in the process, I drew this picture for a doctor when I was trying to describe what I saw, okay? And I still got it around. This is a little representation, a 3D representation of what we're seeing happen there, okay? Now, I included Nibiru here with these wings. They're not proportional or anything, but you can see your bigger black hole object, okay? It's a black hole. It's made out of dark matter. It absorbs light. It bends and absorbs light. It doesn't reflect it, therefore you can't see it. You can't see it until plasma drapes over it like a tablecloth over an invisible table. It paints the contour, the corners, the edges, so you can make out the shape. Well, there's your plasma draping over a shape, and the shape happens to be spherical, and you can see your flow asymmetries and your symmetries and everything going around that object, okay? So, all started here, okay? And then progressed to the baby being born and Mary showing up the next night. And then demons and all kinds of other stuff attacking me because of who I am. And you know what? We're going to go ahead and just show you the birthmark too. Because I know Gail wants to see it again. So let's go here. And I did not know about this birthmark, okay? I was told about this. They're like, yeah, your birthmark. Angel means messenger, by the way. I've shown you plenty of angels. They said your birthmark is a mortal wound you suffered in a previous life. I'm like, what are you talking about? I've never even heard of that. But go look it up. There's some incredible doctors that did years and years of research on this, and sure enough, it's true. And, well, I finally discovered my birthmark. Now, a lot of people talk about Jesus being stabbed right here in the stomach right here. No, I want you to note it's way up here on the side. This is an old painting that's more little more appropriate for the time frame. Whoever made this probably was an eyewitness, or not an eyewitness, but pretty close maybe. And it portrays the blood coming out way up here, not here where Hollywood portrays. Okay. Now, I got this birthmark on the side of my chest here. Let's go right. There we go.
As a birthmark. And this is the birthmark that I have on the side of my chest. See?
There's faces in it.
I'll show you a different image here too.
Let's get the lines.
There it is again.
It's a stab wound.
Come on, camera.
Right where it should be. How come I got this birthmark of a stab wound on the side of my chest? I got marrying angels.
Different image here too. There it is again.
Okay, I got marrying angels showing up in my house. I got demons and stuff attacking me. I got faces in the clouds, UFOs that follow me everywhere I go. Everybody saw the woman and missed the dragon, so I showed you the dragon. It's all because of who I am. Okay?
Camera. See? Okay. There it is again. And just to prove that this is me, I'm going to go over here.
Remember that face out by the moon?
I just... Hi.
Hi. Face out by the moon?
Okay.
Face in the clouds?
There
You
we
know
go.
that dude? That dude whose face keeps showing up all over the place?
Let's see here.
Here, let's go fast forward because
Come on.
look at my hairy armpit for 10 minutes. Let's try to capture this the best we can now.
Yep.
Okay, there it is, in the shape of a stab wound. There are also faces in this, okay? There, right there, is a face with 2 eyes, nose, pointed chin, and horns. Okay, do you see that face with the horns? Right next to it is Jesus's face here with curly long hair and a beard. And then here's God's face in another dimension outside looking down. 3 faces in one. Okay? And what most people don't understand, and this is the part that's going to lose a lot of you guys. Well, maybe I shouldn't tell you yet. The birthmark should tell it all right there. Let's do this, I guess. We're going to have to get into this anyway. So, here we go one more time with the note. So, when you see this picture, maybe it'll start to make a little more sense about the spiritual realm and what's going on and what condition that you guys suffer from as well. Okay? Much like God here, you are good and evil. You know good from evil, but which do you choose? Okay, you have the propensity for both. You're made in our image. Our being plural, meaning this half and this half. Our image, okay? It's not a bunch of aliens or whatever. And when they say plural, our image must mean it's Inky and Enlil. No, 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 no. No, no, no. Our means good and evil. You have the propensity for both, okay? You're looking at me. This is my face. Okay, and this is what keeps showing up all over the place. And what's important to understand is either way, you're going to answer to me. Want to be on my good side? Great. Let's go build something. Let's be progressive and, help people. Otherwise, if you hate me and you don't like me, well, then you're going to get that angle. All right. And a lot of people are going, what's going on? Is Jesus the lion or is the devil the lion? Well, now that answers that question, doesn't he? He roams around like a lion, seeking who he can devour. All right. And you guys have this complex going on right now. You're fighting the left side of your brain. Your right side of your brain controls the left side of your body, but the right side of your brain is your divine side. The left side over here that controls the right side of your body is the demonic side, okay? And a lot of the faces in the spiritual realm have all split now. They have all gone split face, and I've shown you some of the split faces in the images, right? Okay. So now you're understanding your spiritualism a little better, okay? You have the propensity for evil, but you can also be good as well. So what you guys are about to find out is that I am God and the devil all in one, all right? And that birthmark right there shows you Jesus and the devil all in one is God. Okay. And that's why these angels show up. That's why Mary shows up. I show you here, I can show you these angels bowing in front of me too. Where'd that go? That's in favorites. Okay, and I'm not trying to like prove a point or prove anything. This is for your mental health. So you understand how real this is and how real the help is, who it's really coming from. Hopefully you can see these angels bowing like this. You can see the inside of the wing cupped right here. And if you kind of just stare at these boards in the background, just kind of open your eyes. Don't stare, don't look at anything. Just kind of stare blankly here. And in your peripheral, you will see two angels on their knees bowing. Okay? Angels only bow to God. Okay? And that activity is happening, well, because of who I am. Who I am. I am. Okay? I am in the flesh, walking the planet as a man right now, throwing a party on YouTube for my special family so we could meet together, and where I am, you may be also. Pretty cool, huh? You're already getting tasted of heaven. Come on, love always. Who am I? See this line right here? It's not for me to say, it's for you to say who I am. Okay? It's for you to say who I am. I don't go around proclaiming, hey, I am so-and-so, because when you do that, the world doesn't take you seriously. I just am. Okay? You see this face here on the sun? This happened September 10th, 2017. Remember when Nibiru and Nemesis were attacking the sun right there? Yeah, that's what the sun looked like on September 10th, 2017, just by the way. Do you know anybody else? Anybody else got any of this activity happening around them? See that V shape? See that V for victory? I want you to look closely at that V coming out of nowhere, out of the spiritual realm, right into the camera. And I was praying right there, and right at the end, I said victory, and I threw my arms up, and this V-type structure flies out at the camera. Maybe we're, in that time frame, don't you think? And wouldn't it be kind of like this, don't you think? Well, apparently not, because the way everybody was taught in the Bible is, well, they took it out of schools. They robbed me of this gift. They chopped that one all up, didn't they? I did not make that. Did I make this? Did I make that? Or did I make this? Ask yourself. Once you figure out who I am, you will know I made everything. And you see this right here attacking me when I'm praying? Bam! Satan's little face right up there attacking me when I'm praying. Okay, well, I do spiritual warfare in a realm on a level that just I have to face Satan every day. I have to overcome. It's painful, but I do it for you guys because I love you. I miss you. And let's go just a tad bit better on that one here. See? That's the mark. All right. And I did not know about this. The angels told me about this. I had a shattered shoulder at the time. I couldn't lift my arm up. I didn't know this was under my arm for a long time until my shoulder finally healed and I was able to lift my arm up and have somebody take a picture. Well, there's the birthmark that's on my side where I was stabbed in a previous life and now I'm back alive again. I was alive and died and I'm alive again. Get it? You understand what's going on here? Okay. That's right. Demons are afraid of Jesus. That one side of your mind is afraid of the other side of the other of your mind. Okay, this is a battle of your mind. Everybody thinks that the battlefield is, out in the, in the dirt in the fields. No, we wrestle against principalities, not against flesh and blood. Okay, your spiritual warfare is going on in your head, and they're trying to vie for control of your mind. And I'm not going to let that happen. I want you guys to have freedom of thought. Okay? I don't force you to believe this. You got your own brain. You can figure this stuff out. It's pretty simple. Okay? It's up to you. I leave it up to you to make your decision. And I tell you that very often, quite often during my shows. Hey, I'm just pointing this out and pointing that out. I leave it up to you as a mature adult to make your mature decision. Okay? And this is what happened to me. I'm just showing you what happened to me. Here, let's show you a little bit more real quick. Because I was told about my birth date too. And I'm like, yeah, what's up with my birthday? So first off, I want you to look at my ID here. So you know who I am, I say I am. I want you to take note of the date of birth. March 24th, 1970. Okay? Everybody talks about he rose 3 days later. 3 days later than what? What's the date from which 3 days later? Well, God's calendar isn't the Roman calendar. God's calendar is a celestial calendar. Now, spring landing on March 21st, spring being, well, Jesus is the spring. He's the birth of new life. He's the promise of rebirth. Jesus is the spring, all right? And he rose 3 days later. Well, what's 21 plus 3? Well, that would be March 24th. And 70, oh boy, is all over the Bible. So I got the birthday, the birthmark, Marian angels, UFOs, other entities following me around in the clouds everywhere I go. My face showing up by the moon. gee, do you possibly think that it could be true? Because the moment you realize that it is true is the moment the miracle happens in your life. And if you haven't figured it out yet, do not leave until that miracle happens. This is for you. This is for your mental health. This isn't about, hey, look at me and what I've discovered or achieved. I already achieved it. I'm just trying to help you guys manage what you're dealing with in your world. Okay, I am here to help you because I love you. I miss you. Okay, and we're going to end with the last little images that we always do here. Right here. Okay, this is me in the clouds coming with power and great glory. You get to be a part of that if you want it, if you believe me, if you trust me. See, just like back then, it was about belief and trust. Again, here, it's about belief and trust. The more you trust, the more you receive in proportion. It's proportional. The more you trust, the more peace you get. When you believe me, you take 5 seconds of your day to look at what I have for you, this gift that I offer you, then you will see what's going on. Okay, you're looking at me coming in the clouds with power and great glory. You're here at this show. You're caught up with me in the clouds. It's not like they portrayed in Hollywood where you turn into a little white dot and go up into the sky. No, and escape all kinds of tribulation. No, it's the tribulation that molds character. When you're overcoming your tribulation, that's molding character. Now we're building a person, not some TikTok junkie that can't look up from a phone to see a green light and drive. Okay? You are special. The moment you trust me, the moment you find refuge under my wing, is the moment you find the blessing. And if you haven't found it yet, just keep trying. Okay? Not everybody gets it right away, but keep working at it. We also keep working at salvaging our day. Not every day goes perfect, okay? Some days start off good and then go sour. You have to take a break, regain composure, and try to salvage that day so you can shine that light into other people's lives. If you don't try to salvage your day, you're just going to sit there in misery for the rest of your day, stewing over something that's basically not important. Okay? There are much more important things going on than what's going on in your news that's stressing you out. It does not change your victory. And that's what you need to know. You have victory already. So don't let the world shake you. Don't let it rattle you. All right? It's going to, but you're going to have to use your disciplines and the tools that I gave you to overcome that. And when you overcome those, you will grow stronger. There's no way for you to grow strong unless you overcome adversity. You don't go strong by, overcoming nothing. So that's what we're doing here. In these last closing days here, it's important that you do your salvage work on a daily basis. You will find you have a better life. You feel better inside. You will have that peace that transcends the circumstances going on in this world. I am giving you meat in due season. You need these tools in the time frame coming up. Okay, that's why I do this show. So you will have those tools. Okay, and I am here to help. I love you guys. I miss you guys. It's getting late. I gotta go, but stick around. I will be back. Okay, I am already back. And in fact, we got one more thing to do. I almost forgot about this. So we got to do one more thing here. So we're talking about the other night our EVPs. And they get captured on videos in the background on, it's like a magnetic print left on video. Well, here we had a storm chaser chasing a storm in Florida, in Fort Myers, Florida, of all places, that's about to get hit. This is a storm chaser footage, and in the footage is an EVP, an electromagnetic voice print from the spiritual realm, left as residue on the audio on this tape. And I want you to listen closely. I'll try not to blow your ears out here. But you see it's called Brian Knight is Coming. So listen closely. Hang on.
Outside.
Like a lion, and he's God.
They're dangerous.
All right, this is left on a Storm Chasers video. When I went to go track down this video, they pulled the link down. This video is hard to find anymore. There is like one news report with a very short clip of this scene here. But this is a storm chaser. He was filming that van flipping over, and you can hear the spiritual realm saying, Brian Knight is coming like a lion, and he's God. One more time. Okay, and not just that, there was another part in the video. It still says the same thing, but at this angle, it's recording the van flipping over. We're just going to go a little bit further.
Outside.
Okay, now this weather guy didn't hear this. It's not like he heard this on his video or anything else. Even when he plays this video back, he probably still doesn't hear that voice. All he hears is windshield wipers. But for people who are aware of the EVP effect, how it works, how the spiritual realm can leave residue on a digital device, I've had to deal with EVPs personally in my own life, and I know they're real. Okay, when that happens to you, it will probably twist your melon if the stereo starts talking to you. It would pretty much shake your day when a voice comes through the radio or through television or electronic device and starts talking to you from the spiritual realm. And this is a voice, I recognize this lady's voice too. She's already deceased, but she's whispering in the spiritual realm, Brian Knight is coming like a lion, and he's God. And it's not me whispering it, okay? It's the spiritual realm. And it's funny because all the animals are saying the same thing. All the other creatures on this planet recognize, except for the humans. That's what's weird. I know what I want to close out with real quick. Where was that one? No. Right here. We'll open up a new one. Just one last thing we'll close with here. YouTube shut out now? Okay. Don't play games with me. turn the speaker down a little bit so it's not squealing in the air there. Yes, I would like to go back to my channel, pull up one last thing that we're going to close out with. Christmas gift. My gift to you.
And zoomed out.
Okay, you see that little lion face right there?
Outside.
Like a lion. All right, so Brian Knight is coming. Brian Knight is coming like a lion. Yep. In the clouds. Brian Knight is coming in the clouds like a lion. And he's God. And you guys are blessed. You're my children. I'm so thankful that you guys are here. I love you guys. I miss you guys. I really do. I miss you. And until my next show, I think this is where we're going to wrap it up there. I think we gave you quite a bit to chew on there, huh? Quite a bit to chew on. And maybe even have some restful sleep tonight, knowing that I'm watching over you and protecting you, okay? I love you. I miss you. And until my next show, I will be back. I am already back, and I am still to come. Brian Knight is coming like a lion, and I'm still to come. All right? I love you all. Till my next show. Bye.